Hello everyone, this is Nita me, my responses to activity 6, summarizing questions 1, 2, and 3. So for the first one it asks, does the strength of gravitational force of the earth pulling an object toward the ground depend on the object's mass? What evidence supports your answer? And what I have down for that one is the more mass an object has, the more it'll attract with a greater gravitational force. So basically, like the mass of either object increases, the force of the gravitational attraction between them also increases. And that's what I have for the first one. For the second one, it asks, your observations in this activity suggest that if the 6 kilogram and 2 kilogram cards were dropped at the same weight, at the same height, at the same time, they would reach the ground together. In other words, the race to the ground would end in a tie. How could you explain such a result in terms of their masses and the relative strength of the gravitational forces pulling the cards downward? So what I have is for part A, it says how could you explain such result in terms of their masses? And I already said that. So for A, I say hold up. For A, I put there are certain situations where an object with heavier mass will land on the ground first than the other object with less mass when being dropped at the same time. There's all these microscope misconceptions, however, that two objects with different masses that are being dropped from the same height can also land at the same time. That is because acceleration due to gravity is constant of all objects regardless of masses. The gravitational force on 6 kilogram cart is a lot more than 2 kilogram cart to the 2 kilogram cart, um, because it has more inertia, so there's more resistance from the heavier object to the acceleration, and takes a lot more than 2 kilogram carts, which leads them to accelerate um, at the same time. So basically, like air resistance, a lot of air resistance has to do with it, I don't know, yeah. And for the B part, it asked me to draw like a diagram. Let me show you my diagram. This is what my diagram looks like. So the gravitational force for the 6 kilogram one is a lot more because it has more mass. So yeah, and the speed of it is more, and the gravitational force for the 2 kilogram one is a lot less because it's a lot lighter. But the speed is still about like the same. That is how I basically drew it. And then for S3, that asked, let me get the question. It says it is common for people to explain that objects of different mass fall together because of gravitational force acting on them and the same strength. The gravitational force acting on a bowling ball and a soccer ball were truly the same strength as they fell. Which one would actually reach the ground first? Explain your reasoning. So basically, if the gravitational forces are acting on the soccer ball and bowling ball were truly the same strength, then the bowling ball would land first. Since like there's not a great amount of gravitational force being applied on the bowling ball to resist, so it wouldn't take a lot more force. This wouldn't match up the acceleration on the soccer ball. So basically, more air resistance on I guess like a soccer ball. Its inner mass is just like the inside of it is just air. As for the bowling ball, it's like it's just a bowling ball, but it's like thick. It's heavy. I don't know. It's been my responses to activity 6. Let me know what you guys think.